Good morning, friends. Time to celebrate, time to perpetuate the memory of an awesome as well as amazing alum of ours, Mr. Narasingarao. Narsing, as we call him, many people call him, but I call him as Murli, as his family calls him, because I am part of their family. It's so nice to have a student in the very first year of our institution who has an amazing leadership skills, because he was one of the first 100 employees of Wipro, along with people like K.B. Chandrasekhar, classmate of him, and a person after about 20 years of experience and with a master's degree in engineering and wanted to do an MBA after some time and wanted to do it full time. And at the same time, he was able to say that I had an admission in IIM Bangalore, I had an admission in ISB, but I saw your photograph for the first time, where here is a school where I know about you, and therefore I saw something in your eyes that this is the place I should be joining and taking some leadership position. And that's exactly how Narasingarao, or called Murli, at the time of the inauguration, for the very first day of Great Lakes on 29th April 2004 in the Image Auditorium, where we had the celebration. And then in the evening, he brought his wife and his daughter, and in a place called Nilangarai, at a home where we were celebrating the dinner. And you wouldn't believe it, right from the first day, I saw something unique in this particular person. A person who is passionate, but at the same time with compassion. A person who has an amazing training, but with an amazing amount of activities, but an ultimate humility. A person who knows how to achieve, but achieve everything with humility. A person who knows how to succeed, but he wants to succeed with integrity. All the things that I have put in the Tower of Reflection were pure symbolism of Narasingarao. Narasingarao characteristics, I wanted to know that this school should be a value-based school, and I do not know what value. I saw this guy and the kind of values he brought. Okay, this is what Great Lakes. A Great Lakes is a student-driven, student-owned and student-supported institution. So who is the best student I can think of? A person who wants to give anything, and a person who wants to do a lot of things. And I am absolutely delighted that this person joined in my class. So our continued relationship expanded. We also found out that this guy is willing to do a lot of great things. This guy is willing to do a lot of great things for the cause of education. The first term was over. We started on April 29th. Sometime in the month of June, we have the first term over. Then in the second term, I had some students, because this was singly handled by me in terms of finance. I did not have too much of money, and therefore I thought, let me mix the second module with some faculty members who are probably not so outstanding. I am not saying they are just average, but they are definitely above average, but they are more internal faculty and therefore domestic faculty who could come for a little lower price. And there was one particular faculty member, I do not want to mention the name, also was a teacher. Suddenly this guy comes to my room and, sir, you had an outstanding set of faculty. The first 5 faculty of this particular first term was simply outstanding. Here is one person who is average. And why do we have him? So I said, look, it's very simple. I don't get any support from central government. I don't have any financial support from state government. All the people who are in the Business Advisory Council were experimenting whether I will be succeeding or not. And they do not therefore want to commit any resources, financial resources. So I have to somehow make a constraint optimization, because I am an operations research professor. I know how to do that, so therefore I did. And here is a bombshell he gave me. Sir, I am one of the founders of SSI. With all this Kalpati Agora and other kinds of people, there are 3 brothers, I am the one person from outside. I have 1/4 share of this organization. And at the same time, I am able to get this money if I want to completely surrender my shares and take the money from them. How much it may be costing if you want to have only outstanding faculty, like the first term.
Narasingarao, what do I know about him? Well, I have a very nice story to relate to the audience over here. The very first time I stepped into the Saidapet campus, many years ago, when we still had the old campus in Saidapet, before I even started teaching my elective in supply chain management, I had this individual who came to my office and said, "You want to spend a few minutes with me?" This was, mind you, before even class started. He sat down and spoke to me about his background, and the very first thing which really hit me hard was the sense of calmness, the sense of focus, the sense of determination, the sense of commitment, and the sense of confidence with which he actually wanted to relate his story, so to speak. And we had a good chat for about 15 minutes, and then I had to go to class, and he was completely focused in class, given the fact that he felt that this topic of supply chain management and supply chain network design was very critical to him. And after class, he came back to my office, and he said, "I want to chat with you about what I want to do in the future, so to speak." And he spoke about a lot of different things, and the thing which really hit me hard was he knew exactly what he wanted to accomplish in life. Talk about someone being perfect. Talk about someone trying to have a plan of action and who wants to execute this to perfection. Narasingarao was one of those people. He knew what he wanted in life. He knew why he thought Great Lakes was going to help him, trying to get the right kind of tools and techniques and strategies. And he believed that by doing it right the first time, he was able to pretty much understand what he wanted to accomplish in life. To me, I think it's a true quality of a leader. To me, a leader is someone who not just plans, who not just executes a plan, but has this vision. It's pretty much someone who aspires to inspire people. And to me, he had all the true qualities of a leader. He had all the true qualities of an amazing person who was destined to do greatness in life. I remember asking him, why did you choose Great Lakes? He said he wanted to go to a program where, of course, he had a chance to meet Dr. Bala prior to joining the program. He had a chance to meet some of the faculty and some of the staff. And he said he felt that Great Lakes was the place to go to, despite the fact, mind you, we hardly had any history. We were a very young institution. But he felt he had this feeling, this very positive thought that Great Lakes was indeed the place to go to, despite the fact he could have pretty much gone to IIM A or B or C. But he felt that Great Lakes was the place to go get his education. And I asked him, why do you say that? He said that it was one place where the more he thought about what Great Lakes could offer to him, the more he was convinced. And he said the reason why he wanted to spend some time talking to me was he had this plan. He said he wanted to sit down with Dr. Bala and try to figure out how we can bring in the best faculty. Mind you, people, he was a PGPM student. This was the very first week I'd actually met him. And of course, he had been in Great Lakes for about, I want to say, 2-3 months. He already wanted to talk about trying to bring in the best faculty. And I said, why do you care? He said, I care because, after all, Great Lakes is going to mold my character. They're going to provide me the tools. So the least I can do to Great Lakes is to ensure we bring the right kind of faculty to teach in our program. Folks, to me, I found this pretty amazing. Here's a PGPM student who was really looking out for an institution which is going to become his alma mater several months from that point. These are stories that I can never forget, and I consider it a privilege to talk a little bit about Narasingarao I knew way back many years ago, and all I can pray to God is let his soul rest in peace. Jai Hind.
It has been a pleasure and privilege to have had a student like Narasingarao. There have been many occasions in which I had great opportunity to interact with him as a student. A person of his age, experience, maturity, and the kind of success he has had made him an outstanding leader of people, and that was very eminently demonstrated during his 1 year at the institute. Some of the fondest memories that I have of Narasingarao are of him playing leadership role and taking initiatives. One of the earliest days during his batch, we had this problem of discipline during examination, and I brought this up to the entire class and told them that how disappointed I was. The very next day, Narasingarao not only wrote a mail to me saying that what I displayed the previous day was what he would call as tough love. He went on to organize the students to undertake that nobody will ever use any unfair means during the examination, and they requested the administration that there is no need actually to depute any proctor or anybody to invigilate. They themselves will manage the examinations, and they will ensure that nobody uses any unfair means. To this day, I never found a batch which till the end of the year ensured whatever they promised. And I'm sure that this will be a good example for the current and the future batches. On another occasion, when we were on the unveil of placement of the very first batch, and HCL Technologies had come on the previous night, and they insisted on interviewing the people all through the night. And we all stayed back at this beach resort where the interview was conducted because our own main campus was not good enough for the campus recruitment. And somewhere like 4 o'clock in the morning, HCL declared the results, and one of the girls got the job offer, and that was the first offer for Great Lakes Institute of Management, and it was a matter of great pride. And somewhere out of the blue, I get a call from Narsing saying that he had gone to attend a party at ECR, and he just wanted to know what happened to the placements. And when I told him that HCL has given the first offer, he immediately rushed to this beach resort from ECR so early in the morning to celebrate with us the very first placement at Great Lakes. These are some of my fondest memories. I'm aware that many people who have known him will celebrate the time that they have spent and the time that they interacted with him. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank his family for instituting this award on his name. Thank you.
I met D.V. Narasingarao first somewhere in the middle of 2005, full 11 years ago. Still, it's very clear in my mind. I was at that time taking the responsibility of coordinating the projects work. PGPM used to have projects in those days for a 2 months period, and I was a faculty coordinator for that. And I met Narsing and his team as one of them in that. What struck me was first of all, he was not like anyone else because of his seniority and his maturity levels. Second was his demeanor. I got to know about his background even before he joined this program, and it was by any yardstick very impressive as a background. And for all that, he was a person who was always down to earth, very humble, courteous, and always had a time and accessibility to deal with anybody. That's basically how I found it. Then in his project work, again, he and his team, which I think is mainly because of the kind of person he was. His project was a strategic level project, which again stood out as in terms of its maturity level and its level of sophistication. The project was one of the best that I saw. Down the road 2 months later, and in the process got to interact with him several times. And what struck me every time was his sense of degree of practicality, a sense of nuance in his thinking and awareness, and therefore the quality of the work that he did. While doing so, he continued to be a fine human being as well. That's something which still remains in my mind. Later on, he went on to graduate and then went on to be the highest paid alum of this year until date, in some sense. It so happened that he went on to join my college mates, one of the several ventures in the US, E4E, and moved on from there. After that, I had a chance to interact with him in his next avatar as a person who was a well-wisher of Great Lakes. In fact, to date, my most impressive thoughts and impressions are basically of him as a well-wisher of Great Lakes. Every time we were interacting, I could see that his heart was beating for Great Lakes, for reasons that I can't say why. I think Dr. Bala would be a much better person to say why that was. But I could see him come across as a person who genuinely cared for Great Lakes, wanted it to become a great institution, and always had a thought to offer, not just about wishing, but also having specific suggestions and ways to approach it. Still later, once I started handling entrepreneurship as an area, I had a chance to interact with him in that facet, and I could see in him a natural entrepreneur, a person who thinks in an integrated manner, where he takes all factors together in his thinking, solutional in approach, constructive, and is able to intuitively fine-tune solutions for practicality and people. So these are some of the things that stand out in him. While all these are on the professional facet of him, he continued to impress me as a human being. You could see that he is a person with a fine heart more than everything else, and that always touches you deep down. It is in such a backdrop that later on, when we had to lose him, one genuinely felt that one lost a member of one's own family. So it is therefore probably right to say that Narasingarao deserves to be seen as a core member of the Great Lakes family, and a spirit which continues to be up there wishing the best for us, and surely seeing all these growth that Great Lakes has been able to achieve and rejoicing for it. As if it were a testimonial, his family got associated now to commemorate him, and in that guise end up actually contributing even today in the promotion of entrepreneurship by their fine gesture of giving the prizes for the most important competition we hold every year called Hyperion, which is an international level competition that we hold and actually fund substantial, if not all of the prize monies year after year. While at it, it's a fine collaboration that has come to be between Narsing's family, his pioneer batchmates, and Uncle Bala. So together they are an important constituent in the success of entrepreneurial activities that we do at Great Lakes. And as a faculty, mentor and chairperson for the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship here in Great Lakes, it is my duty to acknowledge this and place it on record that Great Lakes in Narasingarao continues to have a well-wisher mentor par excellence.
Let me take to another episodes at the same time, another part. Now we have gotten a new campus. Now we want to do that. And it's continuously he used to come for recruiting people for E4E or swappers or something else and doing a lot of things. But at the same time, Narsing or Murli always cannot take any bullshit. He always finds out if something is wrong, he will tell. Now, unfortunately, in the business world, especially with Chandrasekhar and others, and he had some other officer who was above him, let us say CEO. I think there was some kind of feeling that the things are not going well. So Narsing clearly said, look, we have to do something different, and they didn't like it. And here is who is this subordinate telling me, who is my superior, what to do and what not to do. Remember, he was also encouraged by myself acting as a person who is a listener and taking his advice. So therefore, because he thought that I am encouraging him, he followed it. Unfortunately, he did not know the world is not uniform. So here is a boss who did not like his taking charge and identifying what to do. And there is some conflict. So he said, Uncle, this is enough. I want to get out. I said, don't get out. Why do you want to get out? You have a daughter, you have also your brothers, children, and you want to help everybody, and you need the job. No, sir. That money should not be my concern. I cannot live if somebody cannot face truth. And I told him, truth is sometimes bitter. Let us take it easy. Why do you have to change this or leave the place? I will create a business. So suddenly he felt uncomfortable. Then I said, I was trying to hold it. Then he said, can I join Great Lakes? You are welcome anytime. You want to take my job, you do it. You want to take Sriram's job, you can do it. No, I will do something. But meanwhile, suddenly, I think he talked to Chandrasekhar. I also talked to Chandrasekhar. You cannot afford to lose this guy, so probably transfer him or whatnot. So therefore, he suddenly decided, I want to come to Kellogg, maybe do another MBA. Hey, how many MBAs you want? How many things you want to do? Nobody can teach you anything. You are teaching others. So why do you want this? Now anyway he came, and I am so glad he came. He came to my home. My wife was impressed. And as a matter of fact, just 1 or 2 years before, actually I was getting the first grandson. I had a wonderful dinner at his home, and suddenly my son Sudhakar says, Dad, Purnima is on the family way. And immediately he celebrated as though it is his family. And he went to the God and whatnot. And I was just thrilled and amazed. what it is. So then he came to Great Lakes. I'm sorry, to Kellogg School of Management. So he came to my home, he saw the grandchild, all kinds of stuff. We had a great time, food, etc. Then he wanted to see the campus because we wanted to create a campus like Kellogg in Chennai. I said, that is not the good thing. I want to have something better than Kellogg in Chennai rather than getting. As a matter of fact, when the dean, the previous dean emeritus Don Jacobs, whose photograph is there, and the then dean in 2009, they came, they couldn't believe this is much better than Kellogg, and he said, Bala, what the heck you are doing? This is much better than that. Don, I am your student. You as a professor, you as a dean, you as a mentor will be happy. And nursing was there. Nursing was talking all kinds of things. They couldn't believe how he is so passionate about Great Lakes. And Don Jacobs said, Bala, this guy is your successor. He is the guy who is going to make Great Lakes better than what you made. I said, Don, I 100% agree. He is my successor. If my own student outperforms myself, I will be the happiest guy, whether I am wherever I am. So I was almost determined in 2010, this guy is my successor as a dean. And he wanted to do a PhD. I said, I'll get you the PhD, not another MBA, we will do the PhD. All right? So he came. And he came to Kellogg, all set. Then suddenly, I did not get anything from him. He used to call me every week. He used to call me every alternate week, if not. He used to come to the airport. He's not coming to the airport. He's not calling me. Every time I call, nobody picks up the phone rings. I know something must be wrong. He actually came a year before and gave an inspiring address, knowing full well he has a problem, and he didn't want to reveal. He did not reveal to his parents. I do not know who knows what. But something was bothering him. He didn't want to upset anybody, including me, including his wife, including his family. I said, nursing, something is going on. Why are you avoiding me? You never that. Uncle, I will tell you, you will know that. Then suddenly, I got a call from his friend that he is no more. I couldn't believe this now. Why? God is so mischievous. Why a person like him, who has never hurt anybody, at such an untimely year, God wanted to take him out. I don't know what to say to his daughter. I don't know what to say to his wife. And I do not know what to say to the parents who have so much of dream. He knows he had cancer. He didn't want to tell anybody. And apparently he later on, I found out when I saw a letter from him that it is too much and it cannot be controlled. Why should I bother anybody knowing this, that I am going to die? Anyway, here is an immortal person, a person who dedicated his life to the cause of Great Lakes and to his family and to all us and his extended family. And he will be there with us. One day we are going to have a major hall in this place dedicated to nursing and his family, and it is so glad that we are creating a scholarship in his name. But this is not a true reflection of the gratitude we can show it to him, and it is much more. And the name of Great Lakes will live, and as long as Great Lakes live, the industrial pioneer, we call the first batch as pioneers. Among all the pioneers, the pioneer of all pioneers, nursing will live with us. He may not be here in this particular thing. Wherever he is watching us, he is supporting us. And if this particular school got the rank number 1 in business analytics and other kinds of things, I can tell you with conviction that it is the blessing of nursing which is running this school. I tell them because he is the person who also said we will name Lord Ganesh as the ultimate CEO. In my opinion, yes, Lord Ganesh may be the ultimate CEO, but nursing is the ultimate COO. And with his guidance and of course Lord Ganesh blessings, Great Lakes will live forever and nobody can stop this, and we will go to the highest heights that we can think of. Will be a true exceptional school in the world, and we will make sure it will happen with all his successors and all the students. Great Lakes will scale the greatest heights like Mount Everest, and this will be nursing Mount Everest similar to the whole thing, and that is what the whole Great Lakes all about. Long live the memory, long live his children, long live his parents, and I am so pleased that he lives with us forever eternally. Thank you very much. God bless you all.